We saw this in India and China. Right here. Here,
walking, step on.
Poison bamboo stakes and deadly iron spikes were hidden below the invisible traps, certain death to those who fell in. Despite the massive deployment of soldiers and high-tech equipment, the Americans were unable to overcome the civilian, guerrilla-led population, which was able to resist with few but ingenious resources. During the war, thousands of farmers and peasants had to leave their villages to go live in towns and cities. Once the war was over, they returned to clear and cultivate their abandoned fields. Once a bomb-cratered landscape, the countryside around Saigon has regained some of its former beauty, a sign of peace and rebirth. The rice paddies spread out in a lush green carpet, which turns to gold during the harvest season. The abundant rice harvest and vegetable gardens provide ample food for Saigon's population. Though Vietnam once had no choice but to import rice, it has now become the world's third largest exporter. Agricultural research and scientific cooperation with the Philippines has resulted in the development of new varieties of rice, which are even more profitable. In the past few years, Greater Saigon has experienced a higher standard of living thanks to an improvement in the infrastructure. Development in the fields of education, cultural activities, and health-related services have greatly contributed to this step forward. New industrial zones have sprung up on the outskirts of Saigon. Cut off from the rest of the world for some 10 years, Saigon seemed to wake up in 1987 and to encourage expansion when the government adopted a more liberal economic policy. Things have changed very quickly since then. The Saigon of tomorrow, with its many construction sites, is beginning to take shape. Two-thirds of all foreign investments in Vietnam are concentrated around Saigon, which today can boast 33% of the gross national product. Located on a bend of the Saigon River, the city is also Vietnam's main port. 60% of all commerce passes through Saigon. The river is deep enough to take 30,000-ton cargo ships. This is a pretty rare advantage for a large, virtually landlocked city. With over 100 canals, Saigon is linked to other southern Vietnamese provinces, as well as with her neighbor, Cambodia. Two totally contrasting universes stand side by side, the industrial world and nature, where lush tropical vegetation thrives between the countless waterways. Along parts of the Saigon River and its tributaries, particularly in the arroyos of Ta Tiem, it's very much a case of going back to nature, an ideal spot for Saigon city dwellers who are looking for a bit of peace and quiet. Merchants line the banks of the river in Saigon. Passers-by, courting couples, and children make up the Vietnam of tomorrow. They come to experience the hustle and bustle of the city. In Saigon, as in the rest of Southeast Asia, 40% of the population is under 20 years of age. At closing time, the Vietnamese invade the streets. It's really a sight for sore eyes. And ears. Many Vietnamese still get around by bicycle, especially the young people of Saigon who still wear the traditional white áo dài. The city center has been taken over by two-wheelers, and the putt-putt of mopeds adds to the general noise level. Saigon was long a big commercial capital. The city's